If this is your first time watching one of my videos, then you're in luck because I'm about to give you a literal cheat code on how to convert a cold, random prospect into a paying customer predictably again and again. It doesn't matter if you're in uni and you're broke and you just want to make some money, or if you do door-to-door sales, or if you're a closer, or if you're a copywriter, or you run an e-com brand or whatever. If you want to start a business or you want to make money, you have to know how to sell. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do if you want to learn how to convert random strangers into paying customers. And it doesn't matter what you're selling or what industry you're in or how much money you have or how much of an expert you are. You could literally be a brand new beginner and you're still going to be able to make money if you implement what I tell you today. I can personally guarantee that if you take action on what I'm about to tell you in this video, then you will be able to make money forever by using this one cheat code. And don't get me wrong, I'm calling it a cheat code, but it's not easy. And that doesn't mean, you're just going to click your fingers and suddenly be an expert salesman. It's going to take work. So make sure you pay attention for this entire video, because if you take action on what I'm about to tell you, I can guarantee that you're going to ROI from watching this video. Or if you don't want to take action and you're lazy, you can go back to scrolling TikTok, watching brain rot memes, and just, being a loser. It's up to you. Today, I want to talk about the most important aspect of direct sales, copywriting, and even face-to-face sales, and that is knowing your customer. I'm going to talk about this from the perspective of a copywriter, because for those who don't know, that's what I do. I write and I sell stuff and I make ads. That's literally what I do for a living. But the principles I'm about to give you, as I said numerous times, you can apply it to literally anything. So, don't dig too deeply into the fact that I'm going to be using copywriting examples. It literally works for anything. When you read and write copy for some time, you'll get to the point where you can literally reverse engineer a sales letter or a VSL or a Facebook ad or, even a face-to-face sales conversation. You'll literally get to the point where you can reverse engineer those things because you've been immersing yourself in direct sales and closing deals and all of that stuff for a very long time. That's the point I'm at, where if, you present me with a piece of copy or you send me a video of a Zoom call between a prospect and a vendor, and the vendor wants to close a deal with the prospect, and he ends up closing it or not closing it, in most cases, I could tell you why he ended up closing it or why he didn't end up closing it. And I can do the same thing with a funnel on, like an e-com brand or an info product. If you're running paid ads to an offer and it's successful, I could tell you why it's successful, but I could also tell you why it isn't successful, and I could do that pretty accurately. And as a side note, that's why reading copy and, studying the market and looking at what's working and looking at your competitors and listening to sales conversations is such an important habit to develop, because you're just going to train that ability to reverse engineer those sales cycles even better. But that's me. Let's look at it from the average person's perspective. The average person doesn't even know what copywriting is. They just, they scroll Instagram and they get hit with a video ad, and then they click on the ad, and then they end up on some random sales page, and then they scroll down the sales page, and then they click add to cart, and then they buy the product. And they're literally operating on autopilot. They're an NPC. They cannot tell you why they bought that product. To them, it's just random. It's another day in the life for them. But to me, or the person who's running that offer on paid traffic, they can tell you exactly why that purchase was successful and exactly why they're able to do it at scale. And that's the whole point. When you write a winning sales argument or you have a winning sales conversation with someone over the phone and you close a deal, they don't even feel like they're being sold to in most cases. Unless you're a super aggressive salesman, then it's different. In 99% of cases, the most successful sales conversions come when the prospect doesn't even know that they're being sold to. So to the untrained eye, it looks like pure luck or randomness that the prospect even bought the product. But as you're about to find out, there is no such thing as luck and there's no such thing as randomness. And I'll prove it to you now. Have you ever played billiards or pool? I'm sure they have a pool table at your local bar or your local pub or whatever. Anyway, I want you to imagine a game of billiards. All the balls are nicely racked up in a triangle, and one of the players, he breaks. And when you break, that's when you hit the white ball and, you break the triangle. It's the first shot of the game. To the untrained NPC eye, the balls in that triangle are going to end up in random positions all over the table. Or put differently, the untrained average person believes that the break is based on pure luck. So if you pot one or two balls off the break, they'll say, oh, you got lucky. But let's say I'm a world-class mathematician or physicist, and I measure the weight of every single ball on the table, and then I measure the friction of the table, and the velocity with which the player strikes the white ball, and the angle that the white ball hits the triangle. I could literally tell you with a few simple equations where every single ball on that table is going to end up, and I could do that with 100% accuracy. So there's no luck and there's no randomness. It's just a mathematical equation. But without those equations and without those measurements, the balls appear to end up in random positions. And that's all that randomness is. Randomness is just a label we assign to things that we don't understand. And by the way, I didn't create that analogy. Some famous philosopher created it, and I forgot his name. I think it was Laplace, but it might not be. Either way, I didn't create that analogy. I read it in a book. But that brings me to my main point. When you try to sell a product without doing thorough market research, you are relying on randomness or luck in order to get sales. And you will not get very far if you are relying on luck to close deals. And that's why I spoke earlier about, how the average normie will just be scrolling Instagram and they'll buy a product and they couldn't tell you why they bought it. Because to them, it's random. They don't know. But to me, someone who knows what I'm looking at and has done this 1,000 times and, sold over $150 million worth of stuff on the internet, I can tell you step by step why they bought that product. So there's no luck and there's no randomness involved. And now I want you to be 100% honest with yourself. Are you relying on luck at all with your marketing and sales? Don't say no, because we all are to some extent, and that's why split testing exists. But that's my whole point. If you do enough research on your customer and you identify the one thing that they truly want and you figure out a way to bridge your product with that one desire that they truly want, then you no longer have to rely on luck. The winning offer will simply reveal itself to you, and that's what the greatest direct salesman of all time said, and his name is Eugene Schwartz. If you don't know who Eugene Schwartz is, I would suggest that you make a note while you're watching this video. Don't click off, keep watching, but make a note, and after you're done watching this video, go do some research on Eugene Schwartz, read his books, watch his interviews, whatever you can find. Just study him. So anyway, market research and knowing your customer takes all of the luck and randomness out of the sales equation. When you know exactly what your customer wants, you can predictably convert them into a paying customer time and time again. If I get on the phone with a potential client from my marketing agency, I know, because I've been doing this for years, I know exactly what they want, I know exactly what they don't want, I know that they might have had a bad experience, I know how to negate their objections, and I know how to make them feel like they're making the right decision. Because at the end of the day, I know their true desire. Their true desire is to make more money, to have a low-stress relationship, and to not feel like they have to micromanage us. That's what they want. And they want it to ROI more than if they did it in-house. As a result of studying my customer and knowing my market, if I get on the phone with someone who's a qualified customer, and by qualified, I mean they have money and they can afford to pay my team, there's a 99% chance that I'm closing them. And if I don't close them, it's a very rare occasion. So yeah, at the end of the day, the claims already exist and the market desire already exists. It's your job to find out what those things are. And while no one can guarantee the success of a pitch or a prospecting call or, a sales funnel for your e-com brand, whatever it is, you can get as close as humanly possible to guaranteeing successful sales conversions by doing thorough research. And that is the cheat code. That is the thing that will separate you from the rest of the market, is just knowing the customer better than anyone else. And I don't mean it on a surface level. I don't mean like, oh, the customer just wants to make money, or the customer wants to lose weight. You need to go a level deeper and know the deepest, darkest desires of the person you're selling to. That's the only way that you're going to predictably convert random prospects into paying customers. And that's the cheat code. It's very simple. And, don't confuse simple with easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's going to take hard work, it's going to take failure, and it's going to take a lot of your time researching your market. So if you ever feel like you're constantly taking shots in the dark with no real conviction in your sales, or your product doesn't connect with your market in the way you expected it to, or you don't have a real process in place for studying your market before you try to sell to your market, then you have a research problem. And I guarantee 99% of your problems with sales are not sales problems, they're just research problems. Because when you do the research and when you know your customer, it's almost impossible to have sales problems. And I'm going to give you a few examples of knowing your customer. Example number 1. If I'm selling a weight loss supplement to fat people who want to lose weight, and I'm just a low-level guy and I do no research, the first thing I'm going to say in my sales conversation or in my copy is, hey, take this pill and you're going to lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks. That's super low level. But if I'm a bit higher level and I'm a bit more experienced, I'm going to do more research and I'm going to, read Reddit forums. So I'm going to search up, literally Google Reddit / I feel so overweight and I'm embarrassed. I'm just going to search up random shit like that and see what I find. And the reason I do that is because I want to see what fat people really think about, their overweight or their obesity. I really want to see what they think. And the findings will shock you. You'll see that fat people don't care about losing weight. They care about being attractive to their husband again. If we're selling to, 45 plus overweight women in America, they want to lose weight, sure. But what they really want is for their husband to look at them the same way that he did on their, on the night of their wedding. Or, maybe they were walking down the street and they saw their husband looking at younger, slimmer girls. And you could even go a level deeper. Gary Halbert, who's one of the greatest copywriters of all time, he said in one of his books, I can't remember which one, he said something along the lines of, fat people are fat because it's not because they eat too much or they have an eating disorder. It's because when they were young, they got touched. Like they got touched as kids. And the reason they eat so much food is because, they want to build up this layer of fat as like a protective layer. And that's how deep you really need to go. And that's how deep the greatest salesmen of all time go. They go into like their childhood and they really study what is the subconscious mechanism that makes this person want to be fat, and how can we address that in our sales argument to make them purchase our product. Another example, if I'm selling a course that's teaching you how to make 5 to 10K a month as a copywriter, which by the way, I don't sell any course that teaches you how to make money as a copywriter, nothing like that. I might in the future though, it's just for the time being, I don't have the bandwidth to produce such a course. Anyway, let's say I am selling a course that's going to teach, 18 to 30-year-old men how to make 10K a month and, escape the rat race and start working their 9 to 5. If I'm a low-level guy and I don't know how to sell, then I'm just going to be like, oh, make 10K a month and buy nice shit and, live in a nicer house. But if I go a level deeper, I'll realize that these people, their desire, and this might be your desire, you watching this video, you can probably relate to this, but it's not just about making 10K a month. It's about being independent. Not feeling like a bitch every time you go to the office and your boss, yells at you. It's about taking care of your parents, buying all the shit that you couldn't have as a child, wearing nice watches, driving, a G-Wagon, for example, getting the girl of your dreams, getting respect, having people actually look up to you and think you're, a productive member of society, and also just proving everyone wrong. These are the real deep desires that make someone want to make money, especially a young man in today's day and age. And if I'm to sell a course, I know for a fact that I'm going to be taking advantage of those desires, and I'm going to be spinning it in a way where you realize that your desires and your deepest, darkest secrets, I'm going to study those, and I'm going to search for those, and I'm going to research the market, and I'm going to interview customers, and I'm going to talk to people and talk to my friends and talk to young guys and see what is it that you truly want and find a way to connect my product to their desires. I could give you 100 other examples, but I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to record a super quick one. But yeah, to summarize, that's the cheat code. The cheat code to converting cold prospects into paying customers predictably again and again is simply to know your customer. That's it. If you were expecting some crazy step-by-step guide or whatever, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not what this video is. In this YouTube channel or on my channel, I'm trying to give you real information and real valuable advice that you can actually go and apply to your life. Whether you run a business or not, what I just told you is going to help you in life. So remember, the main point from today's video is that you need to research your market deeper, and you need to know your customer more than your customer even knows themselves. Only when you reach this point will you be able to predictably convert cold prospects into paying customers. That's all for today's video. I know it was a while since I posted. I want to get back to the car videos and just talking and sitting down. The vlogs were cool while I was traveling, but I do like the simplicity of these videos, and they're super easy to film. And another thing I want to say is, if I jump from random point to random point, or my thoughts don't seem that concise, it's genuinely because I don't have like a script I'm following. I just have bullet points, and the knowledge is in my head at the end of the day. So I'm just telling you what I've learned from selling over $150 million worth of stuff on the internet, and starting my own ecom brand, and having my agency and hiring 20 people and whatever. Like, this is what I've learned, and this is what I think is true, and this is always going to be true. It's going to be true in 100 years, and it was true 100 years ago. So this is the type of stuff that I want to teach you. Stuff that will always be true and will always be valuable, because it's timeless advice. And like I said, research your customer, know their desires, and I really mean know their desires. I don't mean just surface level shit or reading a quick brief that, your client gave you. Like, you really need to know what they want. And the only way you get to know what they truly want is through years of experience and tons of research and a lot of thinking too. You have to be super introspective. So yeah, I hope you found this video valuable. And if you did, click the link in my description and go to thecopycouncil.com. All you need to do is click the link, put in your name and email, and I will send you an email every single day for the foreseeable future talking about direct response, sales, team building, and how to make money, basically, and just life in general. And I haven't missed a day in the last 593 days, to be exact. Also, just leave some comments if there's specific videos you want to see. The takeaway here is go sign up to my newsletter. It's completely free. Link is in the description, and I will see you in the next video.